My name is Rick Sommer, and I'm the owner and brewer here at Dented Works. We're in Newport Richey, and we've been open for a year and a half right now. I started brewing about 20 years ago, doing malt extract. A good friend of mine introduced me to it. Back then, the malt extracts weren't a very good beer, so I kind of got away from the hobby. And then, probably about 9 years, 10 years ago, um, all grain became available, and pretty much that's what we use at professional level like this is we use all grain. We call it malt. Um, so I started home brewing again and found a lot of craft breweries. And when I started going out to these craft breweries that open around the Tampa Bay area, one thing I really enjoyed was the fact that, you'd go in, these are small businesses, these aren't big brewers, these are small microbreweries, as we like to call them. And you get to meet the owner, you get to meet the brewer and hear their story and, taste their beer. I think that's one thing that's really unique about beer is it's not like cooking on your stove where you're going along and you're tasting it and you go, okay, I need a little bit more of this, a little bit more of that. When you do a beer, you have your recipe going, you have your hop additions in your boil kettle. When that's done, you're transferring over to a fermenter, you're pitching yeast, and you wait. Most ales take 2 weeks, lagers take 6 to 8 weeks. So you don't really know what your beer is going to taste like until the end. Um, Before this, I worked in jewelry business, and it was fulfilling. Worked for a very large corporation. But as time went by, big corporation just got more about the numbers, and I wasn't really working on the bench as much as I used to. I really like working with my hands. I think it's cool to be able to say, yeah, I'm the owner, but to be able to be the brewer. And when people come in and tasting your different beers and you're seeing their expression or hearing their feedback, I think that's a really very fulfilling part of this job. I think the other thing too was the fact that, again, going back to meeting these other brewers and owners and in the small businesses like this, they really help each other out. I've been very fortunate to brew with a lot of different brewers around the area. Um, Probably about five of them. And what's cool now is here I am. I'm that guy. I'm that brewer. And I've had different people come in here and brew with me. And it's just kind of fun to show them the experience I shouldn't say the experience, but show them the process. And they really can see that, hey, this isn't just easy peasy. There's a lot of lifting. There's grind work, there's sweat, and all that.
So it's like a science.
It definitely is science. And I should have paid a little bit more attention to science class back in school. That would help me out. I think being part of the community is this. I always started looking at breweries as this. We're coffee shops. We just happen to serve beer. We don't have TVs in our brewery. Our brewery is about conversation. People coming in, talking to each other. Um, we do a lot of events. We are actually going to be doing a beer for the opening of the Hacienda for their big gala event, which we're very honored. We're the second brewery in town. There's now three of us, which the more breweries that helps bring in outside people. Again, we're coffee shops. We just happen to serve beer. We're not your bar with hard liquor. We are simply beer, wine, seltzers, and ciders. I think being in Newport Richey is pretty exciting. I feel like this city is really on a big regrowth, rebirth, whatever you want to say. Um, to be a part of the new process, hearing people coming in here and saying, wow, I haven't been here in 3 years. I haven't been here in 5 years. You know, the people that have lived here, moved away, and now come back and just going, wow, when did my town turn into this great place to be? And I think the breweries, again, are a good cornerstone for that. Um, the other businesses that are around us want to be close to the brewery because they know we bring in a different type of clientele. Um, the people that drink craft beer, it's not about just drinking beer. It's about coming in and tasting the different flavors and the things that we've done with that. Uh, we are obviously, when you're coming off of 19 down Main Street, yeah, we're one of the first buildings you see, the first business. We have a very large area outside where people love to sit. We have umbrellas and they just love to people watch. And I think that is important for a community instead of everything always being inside. It's nice to see people outside. Starting a small business like this is a little scary. I'm not a big risk taker. Again, I was in the jewelry business. When I left, I was there almost 32 years. Um, I was secure in my job. Uh, my skill level was very good at, what I did. Uh, but sometimes working for somebody else isn't as rewarding. Um, the idea of working with your family is just, that's awesome. Because unfortunately, I spent so much time at work, I didn't spend time with my family. So, for instance, when we started this build out, um, my twin boys, Ryan and Ian, helped do a lot of the construction in here, the bar, the wall between the brewing area and the tasting room. Uh, and then my daughter, Sarah, who pretty much is here full time with me, uh, she's a beer tender, as we call it. And, it's just fun to see her grow. Uh, she's not a beer drinker, which is really unique. If you ever listen to her behind the bar telling people about beer, it's just amazing to see how she's grown with that. Then my youngest son, Preston, is inspiring to be a brewer. He does work a little bit behind the bar, helps us out as well. Um, Ryan, my oldest twin, he works here once in a while. And then my wife does a lot of the marketing as far as the Facebook page, hiring the bands and the food trucks that do come out here. Uh, but again, being a part of this community too, it's been kind of unique because Newport Richey is a very small town, as you know. I'm not from here. I'm from Pinellas. And to come up here and meet all these great people here, they've really made us feel like we've been here forever. Um, it's kind of fun walking down the street and having people call out our names. We start to see our swag everywhere, jackets and shirts. So that's a good feeling. You kind of, like I said, you do definitely feel like a celebrity, but it's more than that. Again, I just it's more of a family thing, even with the residents and the people that live here in town. The hardest part was obviously getting approved for a lot of the build out. Um, breweries are a very hard category because we're kind of manufacturing at the same time as being a place where you can come in, the general public can come in. So they like as it's growing in certain areas, a lot of these building officials don't know what to do. So we did struggle with that. That was a very long process. It was probably about 8 months just getting approval on our plans. Um, at times going, wow, is this even going to happen? Um, and then, of course, opening during COVID, that was a challenge because once we did finally get approved for everything uh, and the building process started, the build out, uh, we couldn't even open. We had to wait. And then we had another hiccup where SunBiz computer system got hacked, and that delayed things almost 5 weeks there. So it was a challenge. Like I said, there was a lot of times that you're like, okay, we're burning through a lot of money. Is this even going to happen? Was this the right decision? And it is scary. Uh, but all said and done, was it worth it? It was. Yeah, being a passion, I think, is what makes it better. I mean, when you enjoy what you're doing, you work harder. Um, Trust me, there's nights that you're laying in bed and you're still thinking about things, or you're looking up on your phone. Oh, what about this? Or, it's always about constant improvement. Um, we always want to meet our guests' expectation. We want to go to the next level. I wake up every day going, I want to be number one, not just for myself, but for the guests that walk through that door. Because once you get stale, once you get in that complacent, I mean, what's the point, really? You gotta just hit it every single day. To be business of the year, I think is just amazing. Again, we're the new guys on the block. A lot of these businesses have been around for a long time. A lot of the people that work in these businesses, they're from here. They went to school. They grew up with the people here. Um, what an honor. I mean, it's amazing because two things. First of all, they like you, and they appreciate you. But to be able to come in and have that love that they've shown and the passion and just I think I think that's the biggest thing about Newport Richey is the people here really care about businesses. They support businesses. And again, for us to be the new guys on the block, come in here and be business of the year when other businesses have been here 10 plus, 20 plus years, that's quite an honor. I would say this, Newport Richey is really a great place to be. I think the city has a lot to offer. Sims Park, it's a beautiful park. We have a theater. I mean, what town has a little theater surrounding us? We have a river, the Cody River that flows here. People are just they love this river. And then we have the hacienda opening, a historical hotel, completely restored to pretty much what it was originally. That's pretty exciting. Where a lot of places will tear down. If you want to be a part of a historical town, Newport Richey is really the place to be.
My name is Sarah Sommer, and I'm the head bartender at Dented Works in downtown Newport Richey. It's interesting. I mean, it makes it a lot more of a fun environment, less stressful. It's just really fun working with your family. The people, I would say, I mean, a lot of our customers have become like our family at this point, so it's so easy to come in here, and I would say about 85% of our customers are regulars, and it's people we see every day. Some people that I see more than my own family sometimes. So it's really cool to like get to know these customers and call them not only our customers anymore, but like our really good friends and really good family. Yeah, that's amazing. I wouldn't expect that. I mean, you always hope for that, but like especially like in your first year, you don't expect that because you run into a lot of ups and downs, especially in your first 2 years of business. You're not super established, especially because we don't live in Newport Richey. So we kind of came from another area. So like just coming here and being welcomed and like people like open arms and everything, and then for us to like people for enough people to love us enough to like vote for us business of the year of Newport Richey, like in a town that we don't even live in, is just amazing. It's incredible. We're so beyond honored to be business of the year in downtown Newport Richey, and we just thank everybody so much for voting for us.